Welcome to Isla Nublar, a hidden island where science has brought the impossible to life. Billionaire John Hammond has a dream: to open a theme park unlike any the world has ever seen, filled with living, breathing dinosaurs. But when a group of scientists, including the brilliant paleontologist Dr. Alan Grant, paleobotanist Dr. Ellie Sattler, and the skeptical mathematician Dr. Ian Malcolm, are invited to see the wonders of Jurassic Park, things quickly take a terrifying turn. The majestic creatures that once ruled the Earth, Tyrannosaurus Rex, Velociraptors, and more, aren't as tame as Hammond hoped. When the park's systems go haywire and the dinosaurs break free, survival becomes a race against nature itself. In this world where humans are no longer the top of the food chain, every step is a fight for survival, every decision a matter of life and death. As chaos reigns, the group must work together to escape the jaws of these ancient predators and find a way off the island before it's too late. Prepare for an adventure 65 million years in the making. Jurassic Park, coming soon to a theater near you. Once you enter, you may never make it out alive.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Movie Hero Network. And this is the brand new Recast. This is Recast episode number 6, and we are touching on the 1993 classic Jurassic Park this evening. We'll be doing a fantasy recasting, but I am not alone in this venture. Got my usual cohort here on the Movie Hero Network, and certainly he's a big fan himself, and he made that bizarre AI intro for us tonight, Mr. Jordan Anderson. How's it going?
Good. It's fun stuff, kind of in the vein of like a 50s movie trailer. So it was fun. Like AI is wild sometimes, but yeah, I'm excited to be here. I've been having a lot of fun with this show, and I just want to give a big thank you to everyone that's been tuning in. This is like leaps and bounds our highest viewed show that we do, and our last video for our Pulp Fiction recast is up to 2,200 views. That's like really good for us. So thank you so much.
It doesn't sound like a lot in the greater scheme of like YouTube, people who upload videos and get that like immediately. But like for us, that's a big deal, when we only average, maybe 100, 200, something like that. So yeah, we certainly appreciate that. Anybody who happens to watch this video of Recast, if you tune in our last one, please hit that like, subscribe if you would. We would really appreciate that, because we will bring you more episodes of Recast. It's just the start of, many, many to come. So we got a lot of great plans for some popular movies.
And also, if you'd like to play along in the live chat, you can give your picks for who you think might make a good recast for each one, and we'll shout them out. So yeah,
for sure. And anybody watching live, we will certainly go to the chat should we have any ties, which we'll explain here in just a minute. But Jordan is not our only panelist chiming in on the recaps tonight. We have Matt Mageau, old friend Soda from up north. How's it going, Soda?
I'm doing pretty good. I don't normally do these type of things, but when I heard it was actors from all over, definitely got me thinking, and I'm gonna have some fun with this.
Oh yeah, no, Matt's got some interesting picks from all over the Hollywood universe. So
nice.
We'll see when we get there. And of course, another guy who's big on Jurassic Park and a friend of the channel, Mr. Malcolm Lay. How's it going, Malcolm?
It's going good, and this is when I found there was definitely some I troubled with. I don't know how they're going to go, but I'm confident with some of my other picks. So.
Yeah, no, we're going to see how this goes tonight. So let me give just a quick explanation on how it's going to work tonight for Recast. So essentially, I'll play kind of a little intro. I've got some clips, I've got some video, or just some clips and some pics of all the different characters we're going to be doing. We're going to be recasting 10 roles from tonight. We do about 7 to 10, but there are 10 pretty significant characters as far as like recognizable ones, that add to the plot and are very recognizable and memorable. So we'll be recasting 10 of those iconic roles here this evening. So I'll play a little intro for each of them, get us reacquainted, and then we'll go around the horn and get everybody's picks. And essentially what you'll be doing is pitching your picks to the rest of the panel because and what we'll be doing is voting on those picks. Obviously, it would be kind of redundant to vote for your own thing. That would just cancel each other out. We would all vote for our own pick. That would just all cancel each other out. So what you're doing is kind of pitching and selling your pick to the rest of the panel. Then once everybody has revealed all of their picks, we'll go around the horn once again, and everybody will rank them from 3 to 1. Third place will get 1 point. Second place will get 2 points, and a first place vote will get 3 points. And I'll keep track of all that. And basically, the pick with the most points will be kind of the official pick that we select to win it for that one in particular. So, so that's how it's going to work tonight, and that's how it's basically going to go. Does anybody have any questions about anything or any comments before we get started? It's going to be a lot of fun. No? All right. So what we're going to do first is we're going to kind of start with the sort of the lowest build or kind of, those lower characters, they're still very memorable. But, we're going to start kind of at the bottom, work our way up. So we're going to start with Mr. Arnold, Ray Arnold, Sam Jackson himself in a very early role. This is even before Pulp Fiction, speaking of Pulp Fiction, which we ranked or recasted last time. So we're going to be starting with Mr. Arnold and Sam Jackson. And here's a little reminder of his little bit in the movie.
Access main program. Access main security. Access main program grid.
You didn't say the magic word.
Please! God damn it! Hate this hacker crap.
Yeah, he hates that hacker crap, man. I tell you what, not very good there. But so yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to start with Mr. Arnold, and we'll go around the circle, kind of starting on screen to my right. I'll like to go last to get things started here, and we'll rotate the order each time. So who we will start with is we'll start with Jordan Anderson. You reveal your pick, sir, and give us a quick, keep these pitches to under a minute or so, just so we can keep the flow of the show moving. But just give us a quick sort of minute pitch for your pick, and I'll pop your actor up on the screen once you reveal it.
Yeah, so I don't know if you'd call my pick unconventional, but just one that I kind of like it wasn't like the first person that I thought of, but then when I thought of him, I was kind of like, oh man, that's actually a pretty great pick. So my first pick is Donald Glover is my pick. So and I feel like he is a chameleon. He can do all kinds of things. He does music, he does acting, he does comedy, he does drama. Like you see him do drama on like Atlanta, you see him in Community, you see him in a few comedy movies, that kind of thing. And like I think that you can just picture him saying, "Hold on to your butts," and just like you really believe it. And I just feel like he could really deliver pretty much anything. You can see him as like the guy at the computer, or like smoking his cigarette, or like doing all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I thought he'd be a pretty good pick for Mr. Arnold, Donald Glover.
All right, so Donald Glover, once again, popping him up on screen. I tried to do my best tonight to match sort of picks with the characters a little bit. I didn't get all
with one of mine.
Some of them I did my best. I promise you I did my best. I scoured the internet as best I could to match it. They don't always completely match up, but you'll get the idea. But yes, we were going to you, Mr. Soda, Matt Mageau. Who have you got for Arnold?
Okay, so like I said, the thing that really got me hooked was actors from all over the spectrum. So I definitely went with all over the spectrum, and I stuck with an actor who stuck with the concept of an actor that's famous at this point, but earlier in the career. I went with none other than Captain Raymond Holt himself, Andre Braugher. Basically, number one, I want to hear this man say, "Hold on to your butts." But he actually is a really good actor, not only for his excellent portrayal as Captain Raymond Holt on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but also for his earlier role in Homicide: Life on the Streets, which goddamn is hard to find for those who want to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, I want to see his take on this role, and mostly, like I said, I want to see him say, "Hold on to your butts." There you go.
All right, so Soda picks Andre Brower. I mostly know from The Mist, actually, before he kind of departs the movie about halfway through, because I didn't watch much of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. But Malcolm, we are going to you for your pick for Mr. Arnold, sir. What you got?
Similar to Soda, I also picked someone who's mostly known for TV stuff, and I went with David Ramsey from the Arrowverse. He's he's played an engineer type role, like with his assisting of Oliver Queen on Arrow, and it's just, and I can definitely see him in the moment. I think he is good enough to, and he's once again, I also want to see him say, "Hold on to your butts," because
we all want to hear it. Yeah.
All right. So David Ramsey, mostly known for Arrow, I guess, for this point. Yeah. So I did have a theme with mine. As I did with Pulp Fiction, I picked all 70s actors. I wasn't super successful just because I picked some that the panel wasn't as familiar with. What I did tonight is I went. If you jumped about 10 or 15 years in the future. So I picked everybody from basically the 2000s, specifically kind of the mid 2000s. So basically Spielberg had just made this movie about 10 or 15 years later. So I'm trying to keep that in context when I show you my picks. I also went with somebody who in the mid 2000s was a working actor, relatively unknown at the time, much kind of like Sam Jackson at the time, who then break out later, but did a lot of TV, had done a couple of movies. So I went with Sterling K. Brown. Who is obviously going on to become a very, popular actor now, and he's been in a ton of movies. But again, he's a total chameleon. Worked a ton of TV around this time. He played, lawyers. He played scientists. He played cops. He could play anything. He also has a great big booming voice. He's got that gravitas, and he can really act alongside anybody you put in this movie. So I'm going to go with Sterling K. Brown, circa kind of mid 2000s. So as he's still kind of a relative unknown, but a very good actor. So, all right. So that's how it works. And then what you guys are going to do is, now that we have all of our picks, let me recap them once more. So we have Jordan's pick of Donald Glover. We have Matt's pick of Andre Brower. We then have Malcolm's pick of David Ramsey, and we have Mike's pick of Sterling K. Brown. And again, what you're going to do is essentially rank everybody else's picks from starting 3, then 2, then 1, and I will tally the points accordingly. So, Jordan, what's your ranking if you're ready to go?
Yeah. So I think for number 3, I have David Ramsey, only because I am vaguely familiar because I did watch a lot of Arrow, but I didn't really watch anything else in that universe, and I didn't even stick with Arrow for the whole thing. I watched 5 seasons, but so I am familiar with him, but and I can see him in the role, but he just went my number 3rd because I kind of like some of the other picks a little better. For my number 2, I have Sterling K. Brown. I think that that's a pretty great pick. I can see him. He definitely has the look, and I think he can play almost any role, really. But for some reason, I just like Andre Brower. I think that's a pretty inspired pick. I can totally see it. I haven't watched all any full episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I eventually do plan to binge it all, but I have seen all the cold opens. I've seen some of the funniest clips on YouTube, and he's one of the best parts, and I think that he's really good. I can see him playing that role. So Andre Brower for number 1.
All right. So Soda, we are up to you next. You don't have to show them on screen or anything. Just
okay. Good.
Yeah, you don't have to write them on. I mean, only write them on a whiteboard if you need to physically write them out, just so you remember your rankings.
That's what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah, totally. But just give us your 3 first.
If you want, but you don't have to.
You don't have to do that if you don't want to.
No, for sure. So number 3, I've got Donald Glover, just because I do love Donald Glover. Don't get me wrong, but it's just kind of doesn't have to be in everything. That's just. Number 2 is David Ramsey, because I really, really do like that pick. But I went with Sterling K. Brown as number 1 because that was actually I was thinking of going with him before Andre Brower, but then I thought, somebody's gonna have that.
Well, if you had that, I would have told you that, and you would have had to pick Andre Brower anyway.
Exactly.
Well, I told you that behind the scenes because I know everybody's picks. Obviously, I'm running the board here, but not everybody else kind of knows everybody's picks. So that should be interesting. Malcolm, what you got for your rankings of?
Yeah, I also went Donald Glover at third. I just don't see it. I get he can play different roles, but I just don't see him with like the Samuel Jackson gravitas sort of thing. For number 2, I went Andre Braugher. I do like the pick. It was really tough between him and Sterling K. Brown, honestly. And then number 1, I went Sterling K. Brown.
Okay.
All
right. So I'm also unfortunately, Jordan, gonna go my number 3 of Donald Glover. He perpetually looks 20 years old, and I feel like you need somebody who looks kind of seasoned, like he can run the park. And I get that he's played smart guys and things like that, but he also, I don't know if he has that like booming, thing to start yelling at people as he does in the movie and things like that. Just personally,
we should watch him on stage when he's high, smoking a joint. Like he looks kind of more like it.
Yeah, and then I'm just not as familiar with David Ramsey. Like, I think he has a good look. I just don't know him from really much. I don't watch a lot of those CW shows. And then, Andre Braugher, I could definitely see him, especially around the time of The Mist and things like that, because he can be kind of a dick when he needs to be, but he can also be kind of a nice guy as he is in part of that movie, and then he becomes a dick later, and whatnot. So, so I think we'll go with that. But with that, we do have a tie between Andre Braugher and Sterling K. Brown. I don't know if we have unless Brian's still watching. Not right now. We can break the tie later. If we don't break the tie later, we'll just have to spin a wheel. So that's what it's going to be. So I will put a pin in that for later, and then we will move, or we'll just have a tie. Who knows? It could just be a tie.
If anyone starts watching this, you want to chime in after the fact for Andre Braugher or Sterling K. Brown for just let us know for Mr. Arnold.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, well, we'll move on to Gennaro. So we have Gennaro played by Martin Ferrero as the kind of lawyer, the insurance lawyer, running around the park, kind of checking for all the violations and, very skeptical of the park. And let's take a look at one of Gennaro's kind of introductory scenes here. It's a longer thing. I'm just going to cut it off. I got a cutoff point. I'm going to cut it off. But let's take a look at Gennaro.
Puesto 1,000 pesos que se cae.
Hola, Juanito.
Hola, bienvenido.
What's this here at the airport? Hammond's not even here?
He sends his apologies.
We are facing a $20 million lawsuit by the family of that worker, and you're telling me that Hammond can't even bother to see me?
He had to leave early. He wants to be with his daughter. She's getting a divorce.
Well, I understand that, but we've been advised to deal with the situation now. The insurance company...
Okay.
The underwriters feel that the accident has raised some very serious safety questions about the park. That makes the investors very, very anxious. I had a promise to conduct a very thorough on-site inspection.
Hammond hates inspections. They slow everything down.
Juanito will pull the funding. That'll slow him down even more.
All right. Oh man, he's laying down the law with all these insurance violations and lawsuits. But yeah, so we were talking about Gennaro, played, as I said, by Martin Ferrero in the original film. And again, we want to reemphasize, we love all these people in their roles. We love this movie. We're just having a little fun with a little fantasy recasting. It's a perfect film, of course. But yeah, let's start with Matt Mageau. So who you got for Gennaro here?
So let me preface this. I was really stoned when I started this list, and this is that one. Mostly because while I was looking at the movie poster while I was doing this list, and I was like, well, I can see this guy definitely being smarmy, and I can definitely see him playing being eaten by a dinosaur without overdoing it. So I went with none other than Calvin Hockley himself, Billy Zane.
How dare you call him Calvin when he's the Phantom, sir? How dare you?
Well, because I was going for he's not really a hero in this movie. But yeah, no, I wouldn't mind seeing him in that role getting eaten by a dinosaur. If he plays it like that smarmy type of lawyer that, not particularly that the other guy did, but yeah, I just want to see him get eaten by a dinosaur. There we go.
Oh, okay. All right. So Matt goes with Billy Zane. So Malcolm, we will go to your pick next.
Yeah, I mean, This is one of those characters I really struggled with as well. Although in watching that clip, my mind went to a different actor that I think would have really better, but I've got to go with what I've got here. And I read Jason Segel from How I Met Your Mother. And this is one that, like, purely for the reason that he played a lawyer in How I Met Your Mother. I don't really have any other reason why I picked Jason Segel. So.
Okay, so Malcolm going with Jason Segel from various Apatow films and How I Met Your Mother. All right, yeah. As far as mine goes, I also picked a guy who played a lawyer, especially in the early 2000s, on a very famous television show. But he's a character actor. I think it's important to have a character actor in this role, somebody that can kind of emphasize, those little lines and really stand out. But also somebody who's a little swarmy, little Weasley, and somebody you wouldn't mind seeing die. I went with Peter McNichol, who you might remember from like Ghostbusters. Too, but this is a picture from his time on Ally McBeal when he played a Weasley lawyer and just kind of a swarmy lawyer. And he's a guy who you would definitely he would bug your ear off, get in your ear, and you'd want him to shut the hell up and just a little kind of short, annoying guy who you wouldn't mind. You could see him cowarding out, in the scene where he chickens out on the kids and then gets eaten and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, that's the first thing that came to mind. Is he's a great character actor and he could play kind of Weasley and whatnot, and a guy who wouldn't mind seeing get eaten on the toilet. So I'll go with Peter McNichol. So Peter McNichol.
It's a guy you kind of want to see him get eaten.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what you want to see. Yeah, once you get going. But Jordan, what you got for the final pick here?
So this one was actually a little easier for me because I just went with the guy that I think sort of kind of resembles the character, and yeah, I just went with David Strathairn for me. So if you kind of just like took his hair and kind of made it look a little more receding, and then you put him in the suit, and then I just really see him just playing that real kind of lawyer type, the real kind of Weasley kind of guy, and but also like a guy that can kind of take charge at times and command a scene, but then you could see him getting eaten off the toilet. You can see him like all that stuff, and I want to say that he has played a lawyer. He's been in so many things that just
Law and Order, which he was on forever.
Yeah, so maybe there was that. For some reason I don't remember him on Law and Order, but I didn't really watch that show.
He was on the original Law and Order for a while, I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
so,
yeah, but he always plays like the government kind of corporate head guy kind of thing, There's a lot of that. So yeah, David Strathairn.
Okay, so we'll run them down here one more time. So we have Matt's pick of Billy Zane. We have Malcolm's pick of Jason Segel. We have my pick of Peter McNichol, and we have Jordan's pick of David Strathairn. All right, so we started with Soda with your pick, so we'll start with your rankings first this time.
So yeah, my number 3 is going to go with Jason Segel, not because I don't think it's a good pick. It's just compared to the other two, I could see them doing more with the role. Again, love Jason Segel, big How I Met Your Mother fan. Next I went with David Strathairn because I'm still bitter about him winning the Oscar. No, I'm kidding. No, sorry, wrong actor. I just realized. No, I love David Strathairn. He's a really good character actor. But you actually won me over with Peter McNichol because I think honestly he's probably one of the better picks I've heard for this role in a recast. Just because he's underrated. And I think he's one of the highlights of Ghostbusters too. I know a lot of people shit on that movie, but I love it. It's the one that got me into the series. So yeah, that's my order. I'm definitely giving it to Peter McNichol at number 1 there.
All right, so we'll go to Malcolm next.
For my number 3, I went with Billy Zane role. I get that Soda wants to see him eaten by a dinosaur. I just don't see him in the role. And number 2, I actually went David Strathairn. Not because I don't think he's good for the role. I'm just not too familiar with the actor. And then so my number 1 is Peter McNichol.
Okay. I look, I'm the biggest Phantom fan on the planet, Soda, but yeah, Billy Zane is 3rd here. I just look, anytime he's played kind of a sort of villainy guy, he's very sinister and evil, like in Titanic or Demon Knight. So I mean, he's too hardcore, for this. You need somebody a little more weaselly. So I just don't see it. Number 2, I'll go Jason Segel because I can see him. He does have range. I can see him doing it. I just don't want him to like overwhelm the scenes. So it's one of those things. And my first, as far as the options go, I'll go David Strathairn because actually in the 80s he did play a lot of kind of like corporate slime balls, so I could kind of see that a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What about Jordan?
I think for me, I probably have Jason Segel for number 3, only because I just seen him in too many comedic roles, and I just see him being like just the guy bringing the funny more than anything else. So that's just kind of why I think he's great. I love Jason Segel, but and then for number 2, I have Billy Zane. I actually could see him in this role. Like I think that he has pretty good range. So I have a number 2. But yeah, I think the Peter McNichol, like that's a pretty good pick, and I appreciate it. I watched a fair amount of Ally McBeal, and like he was pretty like slime ballish kind of Weasley kind of guy in that. So yeah.
I almost went with. I'll say this. I'll just reveal it. I almost went with Paul Giamatti, but I feel like he would almost kind of overwhelm the scenes a little bit. Like he's so good that he'd be almost too much. So that's why I picked somebody like McNichol. One of those guys who you more say like, oh, I kind of know that guy from somewhere, like rather than it's Paul Giamatti.
The one that came to mind when I was watching the clip was Ed Harris.
Ed Harris. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right, but Peter McNichol will overwhelmingly take that one. No need to go to a tie there. All right. So we're gonna move on to our next role. Moving up the ladder, and we've got Game Warden Robert Muldoon, played by Bob Peck, and I believe he has passed away. So the late great Bob Peck. But playing the Game Warden here, the guy kind of who's very skeptical about these dinosaurs being in here. And let's talk about it right here as we get a little introduction to Muldoon.
Do they show intelligence? With the brain cavity?
They show extreme intelligence, even problem-solving intelligence, especially the big one. We bred 8 originally, but when she came in, she took over the pride and killed all but 2 of the others. That one, when she looks at you, you can see she's working things out. That's why we have to feed them like this. She had them all attacking the fences when the feeders came.
The fences are electrified, though, right?
That's right, but they never attacked the same place twice. They were testing the fences for weaknesses systematically. They remember.
They remember. And of course, he also has the great clever girl line later as he gets taken out. But very memorable role here. He's great. Rest in peace, Bob Peck. You did a great job here, sir. But let's do a little fantasy casting here for Game Warden Muldoon. And we'll go around the horn now to Malcolm. You will be up first for this one.
This is one I went purely on the looks, and I don't really have any other reason for it, but I went with Tommy Lee Jones because, when I was looking at the sort of picture of Muldoon earlier, I could that they do kind of look very similar in a way, and I do think that Tommy Lee Jones would be a really interesting casting. So that's what I went for.
All right, so Tommy Lee Jones once again. Malcolm's picking. I tried to pick pictures that are similar. He's done a couple of cowboy movies, but I didn't want to go like 1800s Tommy Lee Jones like he's done with this goofy beard and looking really, really old. I think that's No Country for Old Men. All right. As far as my picks, again, keep in mind the time period I'm going for. Again, I'm going sort of mid 2000s. This is kind of I'm going for a period right before he really blows up and becomes famous. And I think if he did a role like this right before, it would really blow up. So I'm going mid 2000s. Daniel Craig, sort of like a layer cake, sort of Daniel Craig. I could definitely buy him as this kind of hard seasoned, game warden type of guy. He could easily pull off that monologue like we just saw. And he's got that stern quality. He knows how to command the scene whenever he can. He can play off of everybody else. And again, he would be young enough here, but still look like he's been around the horn, been around the bend, been on a few safaris. I'm going to go like kind of pre-Bond Daniel Craig. I think he would actually kill this role and be really, really good.
Nice.
So, all right. But Jordan, what you got?
Yeah, for mine, I went with one. It could be slightly younger than the character, but maybe not though. I mean, if you go with him, maybe almost at his current age. But I went with Tom Hardy. So I think that Tom Hardy, I think that he has the acting chops for sure to be the guy that's explaining what the dinosaurs are up to, and then like he's the guy for me. I want to hear him say "clever girl," like like have him be the guy that's out like in the jungle, like doing the hunting and like getting attacked from behind and like all of that stuff. I think that's a guy that like when you want someone like badass that's gonna go out there and like protect you and keep you safe from dinosaurs, then I would go with Tom Hardy because he doesn't really have like I mean he has action hero look sometimes, but I think he can bring it down a notch and just kind of look more like a seasoned kind of like wise guy that you kind of I trust a little bit, but also like you trust him to protect you. So yeah.
All right, so Jordan goes with Tom Hardy. The closest thing I find was Lawless when he's wearing this goofy hat around the movie. So it's kind of the closest thing I got that I can find there. All right, but Matt, what you got for Game Warden Muldoon here? Make sure you unmute yourself, buddy. So you are muted, buddy. You're muted.
Yeah, I thought I had unmuted myself. Sorry. So with this one, I went with someone who could play the role almost similarly, but I think would be an interesting take on it. I went with Paul Hogan, Crocodile Dundee himself. I mean, how fun would it be to have this guy all of a sudden be the guy who hunts dinosaurs? And he's a similar accent, and the whole clever girl thing. I would like to see, because it's that's not a knife, this is a knife. But hear that as saying, "Oh, you clever girl." So yeah, no, I would. Plus, Paul Hogan doesn't get enough love, man. Those Crocodile Dundee movies are fun.
All right, there. So,
and I should have picked the Crocodile Hunter, man.
All right, so we're gonna do the picks one more time before we go to the actual voting. Got Malcolm's pick of Tommy Lee Jones. We got my pick of mid 2000s Daniel Craig. We got Jordan's pick of come on the screen. There you go. Tom Hardy. And then we've got Crocodile Dundee himself, Mr. Paul Hogan, Australia's love child. So there you go. All right. Malcolm, we'll go back to you first for your rankings, sir.
Weirdly enough, this is actually probably the hardest choice
one so far.
Yeah, right.
Because look, my number 3 is Paul Hogan, but like Soda actually sold me on that he could be a good choice, but compared to the other ones that we've put up, I had to be the kind of friend. Like two, and two, I went Daniel Craig. Like I do think he would be good in the role, but it's just once again, it's literally very close between all three, and then number 1 was Tom Hardy.
Okay. Yeah, this is interesting. Out of the ones I'm gonna pick from, I'm gonna go Tommy Lee Jones for my number 3. I don't really see it. I think I think Muldoon needs to be a little somewhat kind of likable, to a degree. And Tommy Lee Jones is kind of always playing just an old curmudgeon. And I just don't really see it as much just for that one. I think 2, I'll go Paul Hogan. I need to see if he can play a little more dramatic. I don't know if I've seen many of his drama roles other than Flipper. That's about the closest thing I've seen. He plays the dad in Flipper. Crocodile Dundee's kind of fun. If he could go dramatic, I'll go with it. But yeah, I'll go the top one. I'll go Hardy this time because dude's got range, and if you put him at the right time period, I think he could nail it. Be that kind of seasoned guy who could be calm at times, but also big and bombastic when he needs to be.
Yeah.
All right, Jordan.
Yeah. So I think for me, sorry, Malcolm. But I have Tommy Lee Jones at number 3, just because I always see him as like perpetually in his late 60s, always like I don't know, like I feel like he's been that way my whole entire life, and maybe the character is that age. I don't know, but still, I just don't like. Kind of like Austin said, like he maybe needs to be like somewhat likable, and I just don't really see it. And it's just I don't know. The other picks are just really good. I actually have Daniel Craig for number 2. I think I can see him doing it, but I don't know, just something about like maybe him playing Bond so many times that like I just don't quite get there, but like it's pretty good though. And then so oddly enough, I actually have Paul Hogan at my number 1 because if you watch those Crocodile Dundee movies, you can kind of see him out in like the like the jungle, like grabbing snakes and grabbing crocodiles, and like you can hear him saying like oh, clever girl. Like I can see him doing all that, and it actually kind of works for me. So yeah, I'll do Paul Hogan, my number one.
All right, Soda, what you got, buddy?
Okay, so Tommy Lee Jones at number 3, but that's because if we were fan casting Lost World, I could see him more in the Pete Postlethwaite role.
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of where I would fan cast him. Tom Hardy is my number 2. I like Tom Hardy, but kind of got tired of him after a while. But Daniel Craig, I like that one. So that's a fun one for. That's a really good one for number 1 there for Muldoon.
Okay, so it's a close one, but actually just by 1 point, it's going to be Hardy. Tom Hardy will take this one.
All right.
So there you go. He wins this one for the role of Muldoon. All right, so next we are going to go to the duo of kids. So we will start with Lex. We will start with Lex, played by Ariana Richards. Yeah, she's shocked that she's going right now. It's already her turn already.
Yeah.
But yes, Ariana Richards. Also from Tremors, by the way. She's the girl on the pogo stick. For anybody who remembers that, that's where she goes. So she was already battling monsters even a couple of years before Jurassic Park. So yeah, and let's get a little quick introduction to Lex, and then we'll talk about her.
It looks like it has a cold.
Yeah, maybe.
Can I touch it?
Sure. Just think of it as kind of a big cow.
I like cows. Come on, girl. Come on, up here, girl. Come on. Up here. God bless you!
Oh boy, that's disgusting. That's horrible.
Oh boy,
I feel so bad for her. But yes, we are casting young Lex, again played originally by Ariana Richards, and we are around to me. So yeah, so I wanted to cast somewhat age appropriate. She's kind of an early teenager there. And I went with somebody who around the 2000s really broke out with a couple of movies, and especially she even got a BAFTA award nomination for one particular movie. I'm going to go with around the time of The Lovely Bones, Miss Saoirse Ronan. So I went with her. She's very, very good. Obviously, she showed her chops in The Lovely Bones. I don't love that movie overall, but I think her performance is quite excellent in that particular film. And yeah, she showed that she has a ton of range even at that young age. She was working a lot of TV even before then. She was in Atonement as well. So she's really breaking out. She can do the drama. I think she could do a little bit of the lighthearted moments as well. But also she could act scared, as she does throughout many of her movies. So yeah, I'm going to go with Saoirse, young kind of mid-2000s, late 2000s, Saoirse Ronan. I believe that's how you say her name. Saoirse
Yeah.
Ronan?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, so there you go. So that's my pick for Lex. Jordan, what you got?
So I went with one that I believe probably right now is like close to the appropriate age, maybe even like a year or two ago. But yeah, I went with one that's a little more lesser known, but I think has the look and the right fit. I went with Elsie Fisher, and you might know her as the girl from 8th Grade from that movie. And yeah, I think that she has a really good look. She definitely has the nervousness down, because you see her in 8th Grade just being nervous around the pool, that whole pool scene, and then like just going up to like make friends and to meet people. I can see her just being very scared. She also was in the most recent Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and like she can definitely play scared in that for sure. And I think that she has a lot of range, and I think we haven't really seen the best from her. Hopefully not. I mean, 8th Grade's great, but I mean, I think we'll see more of her, and yeah, I think that she could fit the role pretty well.
All right, so down to Matt. Who's your picks for Lex?
So I kind of went along a similar route as Pez there, but I went generation before. I went with Kirsten Dunst. just because I know that she has these type of roles in her. If I'm not mistaken, she did these type of roles. She was in Jumanji in the '90s, so I know she can do this type of role.
That's where I got the picture from, Matt. Just FYI. So yeah,
I wasn't looking up when I was actually looking for her IMDb at the moment, but no, just because she's great actress. Great child actress. Definitely, she's experienced with those type of roles. And I do think she as well had the range to be able to pull off that type of hacker role convincingly as well.
All right. So Matt going with a Jumanji era, sort of young child actress era, Kirsten Dunst. And finally, Malcolm. Who's your pick for Lex here?
Yeah, I have someone who at a very early career just now has shown she's done a lot of different stuff. I've been Alicia Weir from Abigail and Matilda. Like, she's around the age that Ariana Richards was when Jurassic Park came out, but it's like, but her roles in Matilda and Abigail shows she can play characters that can use her wits perfectly and is very smart enough to potentially be a hacker type role. And like she even had some like showed off some of her acting scared sort of moments in Abigail and Matilda both as well. So
All right, so that is Malcolm's pick of Alicia Weir from most recently Abigail. Remember, as the young vampire in Abigail. So yeah, just running down the picks one more time. We've got Saoirse Ronan, circa kind of Lovely Bones era. We've got Jordan's pick of Elsie Fisher, apparently from 8th grade. She's also in Barry, I believe.
Oh yeah.
A little stint. But yeah, she's working right now. We've got Matt's pick of Kirsten Dunst, kind of around maybe Jumanji time. And we've got Alicia Weir, again from Abigail. So, all right. So I guess I'm up first. Yeah, this might be the toughest one for me so far. I think all of these actresses are really, really talented. So this might be one where like the rankings again are not an indication of how much I don't like them or anything like that. I think I like all these picks a lot. So this is going to be like, I don't know. This is going to be tough. So it's no slight against her, Jordan. I'm just not as familiar with Elsie Fisher, so I got to go number one. I have not seen 8th grade yet, so I have no frame of reference. So I apologize, but that's just because, much like you guys had some of my '70s picks, I just don't have any frame of reference. So I apologize. Number 2, I'll go Alicia Weir because I thought she was very good in Abigail. But yeah, and then I'm a '90s kid, man, and Kirsten Dunst in the '90s. I mean, you could swap her out for Ariana Richards, and I think she would have done just fine in this role, screaming her head off and whatnot. So I'll go Kirsten Dunst for my top one. Jordan?
Yeah, this one is fairly tough, but I think for number 3, I just have Alicia Weir. I really like her and really think she's good. I just I don't know. I just don't quite see it, but I mean, even if she was cast in the role, I wouldn't be mad about it. I think that it'd still work. But for number 2, I have she's one of my like what do you want to call it? Not spirit animal, but like we have the same birthday and we have that kind of connection. Kirsten Dunst, and I do think that she could pull it off really well, and especially from like Jumanji and that kind of stuff. But for number 1, I have Saoirse Ronan. I think that's an inspired pick. I think that pick, like she's got the look. I can see her like being the one to explain things, do the hacker stuff, do the like really nervous stuff. I think that like for a young actress, like she has almost more range than most young actresses working today. So I'll go with Saoirse Ronan.
All right, Soda, what you got for your rankings?
So I'm going with Elsie Fisher number 3 and Alicia Weir number 2 for the reasons of I've never seen anything with them, unfortunately.
Okay,
fair enough.
You need to watch more movies.
Then it's Saoirse Ronan, but I also do agree with Jordan though that is an inspired pick.
Okay, all right.
Is there by default?
No, that's fine. Malcolm, what you got?
Yeah, I went with Elsie Fisher at 3. Like I've seen 8th grade, like features around that. I just don't see her in the role, personally. But number 2, I went Saoirse Ronan, and then number 1, I went Kirsten Dunst.
Okay, so we once again have a tie for first between myself and Soda. We are running neck and neck tonight between Kirsten Dunst and Saoirse Ronan. So again, if anybody's watching and wants to break a tie between Kirsten Dunst and Saoirse Ronan for the role of Lex, you can put that in the comments, and we will take the first person to comment on Saoirse Ronan or Kirsten Dunst for the role of Lex, as well as Andre Braugher and Sterling K. Brown earlier for Mr. Arnold. So the first one to put either Andre Braugher or Sterling K. Brown in the comments for the role of Mr. Arnold, you get to break the tie. So please, I know a couple people are watching, so get those votes in. You can be the tiebreaker here. But until then, I'll look out for those votes. But until we will go to Tim. Let's go to the other half of the siblings here. Let's go with young Timmy, played by Joseph Mazzello in the original film, and let's get introduced to him again. If you want to do all these clips are playing, Kirsten Dunst versus Saoirse Ronan and Andre Braugher versus Sterling K. Brown in the comments, you're welcome to put that. Otherwise, we will keep moving on, and we'll come back to that in a minute. But let's get introduced to young Tim and get reminded of him in this one. Oh, by the way, and this clip, by the way, he's the only one I can find of this particular scene, but it's somebody that was analyzing sort of his pseudo-autism and calls it neurodivergent, neurodivergent, so they have little notes on the screen. So it's the only one I can find, but yeah, it's just a little bit of the scene. I'll cut it off in a moment.
Now, kids, come away, not too close to the cars.
I read your book.
Oh, that's great.
Do you really think that dinosaurs turned into birds? And that's where they all went?
Well, a few species may have evolved along those lines.
They sure don't look like birds to me. I heard that there was this meteor hit the Earth someplace down in Mexico and made this big crater.
Listen,
Tim,
which car were you planning on?
whichever one you are.
Oh boy, whichever one you are. All
little
right,
puppy dog.
Just can't get away from him. Yes. So yeah, we were casting the other half. We were casting little brother, little Timmy, played by once again by Joseph Mazzello, and we are back around the horn. So we are to you, Jordan. What you got?
All right, yeah, this one was maybe the toughest casting for me, just because I think Joseph Mazzello just plays it so well. I really like him. I like him a lot, and also in Simon Birch, he's in that too, and he's good. But for mine, I went with Roman Griffin Davis. So he's the main kid from Jojo Rabbit, and I feel like he has a similar look, kind of like almost similar hairstyle, and like just this probably the same curious nature. I can see him glomming onto people like that. I can see him just being brave in the face of danger, and like when these dinosaurs come out, but also getting a little scared too, and I can see him being like even like being the kid who gets blown off the electric fence and like goes flying back and all that, and so yeah, I can see Roman Griffin Davis. I think he'd be a pretty great pick.
I did have an idea, by the way, Jordan, while we're doing this. If you want to jump into that Movie Hero Regulars group and post these two ones we need to break the tie for, you can get some votes from that group, hopefully, over the course of the show.
Do that, yeah.
So if you want to do this while we're doing it, say Andre Braugher versus Sterling K. Brown for Mr. Arnold and Kirsten Dunst versus Saoirse Ronan for Lex, and we'll get some votes maybe over there with some of our regulars that aren't on the show right now. But okay, so Roman Griffin Davis for Jordan's pick. Soda, what you
got? So I don't know. This must have been another stoner pick. I went with Ben Savage.
Boy Meets World.
I mean,
you're playing to the audience.
That's right.
Yeah, pretty much. Just think of Corey Matthews with just a little hint of autism added onto it. And really annoying about dinosaurs. So there's my pitch.
All right, so that goes with Corey from Boy Meets World himself, Mr. Ben Savage. All right, Malcolm, what you got for your pick?
For mine, this is the one I probably struggled with the most. But ultimately, I went with Alan Kim from If and Minari, and it's just simply because like he's around the age that Tim is supposed to be. But even with that clip, it actually kind of helped me a little bit because from what I remember in If, I think there was a scene where he is talking about dinosaur, like something, and he's just one of those ones that does like to talk a lot too. So from If, and so yeah.
All right,
But
so
this is one of those ones I'm not commented on. But yeah.
Oh no, I gotcha. So, yeah, no, I struggled with this one too. Yeah, because again, casting kids, there's only so many kid actors you could go with. So, but yeah, you went with Alan Kim from recently, like you said, Minari and If. And yeah, as far as my picks, I'm going mid 2000s here. So an actor that popped up a lot in the mid 2000s, who you might not know his name, but you recognize his face. He was in Birth. He's in Thank You for Smoking, which is a big pick of mine. This kid named Cameron Bright. Who around this time, who's really recognizable. He's got a pretty recognizable face there. He's in quite a few. He's also in X-Men 3: The Last Stand. He's the kid who has the cure in the little room there. So if you picture him bald, that's where you see him from. But yeah, particularly. And Thank You for Smoking. He's a very smart kid who does a lot of these like debates, and he's a good listener. But he's also kind of constantly talking. And but again, he plays kind of more mature than his age, which I think is key to Tim. You know, playing a little maybe older than they are, or at least acting a little older than they are, but still kind of being that kid. You know, who can get terrified and get frightened as he does in a couple of scenes, even in X-Men. You know, getting a little scared. You know, at the end when they're Juggernauts going after him, things like that. So yeah, so I went with a fairly mid 2000s. Cameron Bright, who was kind of big during those couple of years. All right, so and that is our pick. So once again, running them down, we've got Roman Griffin Davis for Jordan's pick from Jojo Rabbit. We got Ben Savage from Boy Meets World. Go ahead and pick a Tim there. We got Alan Kim from If and Minari, and my pick of Cameron Bright back from Thank You for Smoking, X3, and Birth. So there you go, right there. All right, so well, we will start with Jordan.
Yeah, this one's kind of interesting. Like I felt like maybe this one was the hardest to cast for maybe everyone. I don't know, but yeah, for me, I actually have Cameron Bright for number 3, just because I can almost see him as like the kid that he's going up with the raptor claw and like doing the little raptor thing. Maybe see him as like more that kid, but not so much a Tim. And then for number 2, I actually have Ben Savage, because that's my Boy Meets World Heart, one of my favorite shows of all time. And I can see him especially in like the first season, or like you can really see it, first or second season, something like that. And then I actually have Alan Kim for number 1, just because I did see Minari. I haven't seen If yet, but like he is he's a little boy that just loves to talk all the time, very inquisitive and like that kind of thing. And like even changing up the race, it doesn't always matter. I feel like, I mean, sometimes it does, but not always. And I feel like that it could actually work. I mean, I do feel like if you do that, I might have to have if they're brother and sister, have an Asian for Lex, but that's fine. I mean, I can still see him. So Alan Kim for number 1.
All right, Malcolm.
Wouldn't Soda be next?
Hello.
Oh, Soda.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. I was looking at the chat. I apologize. We do have a tiebreaker, and it's Andre Brower. So in our chat,
Yeah.
so
okay.
that was our first one. So we'll still go with that.
All right.
Again, I'm unbiased. You know what I mean? If that's what goes
Yeah.
first, then goes first. So now Jordan can post and ask for Kirsten Dunst versus Saoirse Ronan in there. See if
All right.
All right. But yeah, sorry, Soda. Go ahead.
So I went number 3 with Alan Kim, just because no frame of reference. Unfortunately, I haven't seen it. Cameron Bright, only frame of reference is X-Men. But Roman Griffin Davis, though, was actually, again, an inspired pick. Never would have thought of that. Just because, again, only frame of reference was Jojo Rabbit, but he's really good in Jojo Rabbit. So that's what I want.
Okay. Sounds good. Malcolm, what you got?
Yeah, just because I'm not overly familiar with the actor. Like I know I've seen him in X-Men and that, but that's just I went Cameron Bright. For number 2, I went Roman Griffin Davis. Purely because I think he's might be a little bit too old. Like even around the time of Jojo Rabbit, and then so I didn't manage to convince me. I'm Ben Savage. So I've got Ben Savage number 1.
All right. That sounds good. Yeah, so as far as me, Ben Savage number 3. I don't see it. I don't see it. Sorry. I think he would be completely miscast for that. Just personally. Yeah, I'll go. I'll go Alan Kim for a second, just because again I don't have a huge frame of reference outside of If, really, actually, not even Minari, but more of If, and he was just in a hospital bed the whole time. Just a couple, they could go back to him every now and then. He was okay. I need to see more of him. But yeah, I'll go Roman Griffin Davis because yeah, he's a pretty go-to. We had him a couple of things for our Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah,
on that one. Yeah, he's a pretty solid actor, and yeah, I think he would kill whatever. So yeah, that's fine with me. So Roman Griffin Davis, we'll take that one. With those votes. All right. So we are getting into the upper half, guys. We're getting into some serious business here.
Upper echelon.
Yeah, we are getting into the really serious characters here. So we are moving on to kind of our primary antagonist. So let's go with Dennis Nedry, of course, played by Wayne Knight, and brilliantly so by Wayne Knight, who would go on to play Newman, obviously, in Seinfeld, another kind of annoying character. But let's get reintroduced to Wayne Knight as Dennis Nedry.
Anybody want a soda or something? Because I'm going up to the machine. I thought maybe, I'd get somebody something. Because I've had all these sweets, and I think I'm going to get something salty. I thought maybe somebody would. Oh, I finished debugging the phones. I was going to debug, so I did. You told me that, so I debugged the phones. And I thought maybe I should tell you that the system is going to be compiling for 18 to 20 minutes. So some of the minor systems, they might go on and off for a while, but it's nothing to worry about. It's just a simple thing.
All right. Mumbling, stumbling fool, but he goes on to do some dastardly things in the Jurassic Park there.
Newman.
That's right. All right. So we went with Jordan first, I believe, last time, if I'm right. So we will go to Soda this time. Once again, we are going with Dennis Nedry, played by Wayne Knight. Soda, who you got for?
So these are the picks where I definitely, you could tell, I really put thought into these ones.
Yeah, okay.
Not that I did with the other ones, but these ones was okay, who can I get to play these important roles? And with this one, I went with Ned Beatty. Because just think of Nedry as kind of a cross between Otis from Superman and Lotso Fun Bear from Toy Story 3. Because, like you said, he's that bumbling oaf, but behind the scenes, he's really a bad guy. He's the one responsible for this. So that's why I put in with Ned Beatty, because he could play that type of role.
All right, so so it goes with Ned Beatty. So I did the best I could, kind of with the older pictures that I could, but there you go. But yeah, from Superman, from Network, he's the voice of Lotso Hogan Bear, Toy Story 3. So yeah, very kind of Deliverance as well, if you remember him from Deliverance, also. So there you go. But Malcolm, what you got?
Yeah, I went with Jorge Garcia, Hurley from Lost, and he's one of those ones that he's proven he can show someone who's smart when he wants to be, and then even on Lost, he's perhaps was given some storylines where he's even if he doesn't really want to, he's forced to help with maybe sabotaging things, especially when when they go to the hatch and he tries to stop them from blowing it up, and all that. So, and plus, Hurley on Lost walks a good Hawaiian shirt, and so does so does Nedry.
Entry at the beginning of it, but all right, Jorge Garcia, but mostly known for Lost.
Yeah.
All right, so my pick. I went with somebody who I'm very, very familiar with, somebody near to my heart. I like to nominate myself as Dennis Nedry. I think I would really kill this role. As you can see, I fit right in. And it can look annoying. No, I'm just kidding.
Damn it, Austin! You stole my pick.
I just wanted to throw that up there because I have a costume. I've dressed as him multiple times, so I just want to throw that there. No, but for my serious pick, somebody that's a much better actor than I will ever be. And come on, I think this is a shoe-in. The range he's got. He's an amazing actor. You think of mid 2000s, Philip Seymour Hoffman. Come on, dude. Philip Seymour Hoffman. He has the range. He can play kind of a prick and a slime ball, kind of in a little bit of Patch Adams. He could play a straight up villain in MI3 and get really sinister. He can do the kind of little slapstick comedy sort of things that Nedry has to do. He slips sliding down the hill and all that. We saw it in Long Came Polly and in Twister. So he's got the range to pretty much pull off any emotion or any scene you can, and obviously he can go toe to toe with whoever you cast as John Hammond. He's got the talent, he's got the charisma. He would kill this. He could be hateable if you need him to be, but kind of a bumbling fool also. So yeah, I'm easily going Philip Seymour Hoffman here. All right, Jordan.
All right. So while we've been doing this, I almost thought of like a potentially better pick for mine, but I'm not going to go with them, and I won't even reveal it till the after my pick, who I just thought of. But for me, I went with someone who I think can pull off the villain pretty well. He has done a couple kind of like just like hateable characters, but he also has some comedy. He has a little bit of the neurotic stuff. But I went with Jonah Hill for mine. And specifically, you got to go with a bigger Jonah Hill.
That's what I did. The bigger with glasses and kind of curly hair, Jonah Hill.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. But I can see him kind of just like kind of waddling around and sneaking around and kind of being the guy out in the rain in the Jeep and all that stuff, and kind of going like up against the I forget what they call the little spittered like dinosaur, but he's like
Dilophosaurus.
Yeah, like the stick, stupid here, the stick, like doing that and stuff. So yeah, I think that Jonah Hill will be my pick. But I also thought of I just last minute thought of John Candy. It could have been maybe a good pick, but I didn't go with that.
Yeah. All right. So let's run down our picks one more time before we go to Malcolm for the first ones. So we've got Ned Beatty for Soda's pick. We've got Jorge Garcia for Malcolm's pick. We've got Philip Seymour Hoffman for mine, and we've got Jonah Hill for Jordan's pick. So Malcolm, we will go to you first, sir.
Yeah. So for my number 3, I went with Jonah Hill, and this is one it's not that it's like too far off. I just don't see it personally. Well, I would like to see him being killed by dinosaurs.
Yeah, right. You want to see him die.
But and then it was really tough between the other two. But I went Ned Beatty for 2, and then Philip Seymour Hoffman for 1. I think just perfect.
Okay. All right. Yeah, as far as mine, I went Jorge Garcia for number 3. He's too lovable. I don't want to see him get killed by a dinosaur. He's just too cute. He's too much of a big teddy bear. I just don't see him being really, really slimy. He's just yeah, I don't know. It's just that it is what it is. My number 2, I'll go Jonah Hill because it's a good pick, and definitely he's shown his range that he can play anything, especially as Donnie Azoff, obviously. Street, he can be hateable and whatnot. So I like it as a pick. But yeah, I mean, I'm a 70s guy, Soda. Like I went 70s for Pulp Fiction. And yeah, I can see like 70s Ned Beatty like destroying this role. Like you put it in there. Like he could be kind of slimy, but kind of bumbling at the same time. He could bounce between the two. He's a really underrated actor. I mean, he's an Oscar nominated actor. So yeah, I mean, he's actually really, really good. And so I'll give you some love for the more kind of 70s-ish pick with Ned Beatty. I'll give you love for that. All right. Jordan?
Yeah, so kind of the like juxtaposition of Austin. Kind of, I'm not a 70s guy, and I'm not like big into the older stuff. So I have Ned Beatty for number 3. I just like haven't really seen a lot of his stuff. I know he's done quite a bit, and I have seen some things, but I just don't like see it for me personally. But I need to watch more classic movies, Brian. But and then I actually have Philip Seymour Hoffman for number 2, just because like I kind of like that character being kind of like not like an A-list actor, can be like a B-list kind of actor, that's fine, but like A-list kind of takes me out of it just a little bit to where like he might like nail the role in some aspects, but like I'm just kind of like
that's why I posed him as remember the time period I'm going for, Jordan, 2005, like mid 2000s. He wasn't an A-lister then.
Yeah, right. I mean, but still like good enough for number 2 for me. And then I actually have Jorge Garcia because I'm a Lost guy, and I have him for number 1 because I think that he can have the look. He's just throwing some glasses, and actually I would love to see him as like more of a villain type role. I mean, I think that we just haven't really had much of a chance to really see him as a villain. I mean, not that I know of too much, but like I would really like to see it because I think he could do it. I mean, there's parts near the last season of Lost, maybe he's getting there, but I don't even know if he's really he's not a villain, but he kind of like has some dark moments. So yeah.
All right, well, Soda, what you got for your rankings in this one?
So I went with Jorge Garcia as number 3, just because I've never seen an episode of Lost, so my only frame of reference for him is The Blitz. Number 2, I went with Philip Seymour Hoffman because this one was actually the hardest one for me. I went with number 2 with Philip Seymour Hoffman. Really good actor, but I went with Jonah Hill with number 1 just because even though I do not like Jonah Hill, I think he's better suited for this type of role, especially during that time.
Okay. So we had a very close game here. Ned Beatty and Jonah Hill both getting 6 points, but Philip Seymour Hoffman eking it out with 7 points. So Philip Seymour Hoffman just barely kind of taking that one. All right. So we are moving on up the ladder still, and we are going to the owner of Jurassic Park himself, Mr. John Hammond and Richard Attenborough, director / actor, because he also directed quite a bit of movies as well. But yeah, let's of course get reacquainted with John Hammond here.
How fast today? Well, we clocked the T-Rex to 32 miles an hour.
T-Rex?
Mm-hmm.
You said you've got a T-Rex?
Uh-huh. Say again. We have a T-Rex. Oh.
Put your head between your knees.
Dr. Grant. My dear Dr. Sattler. Welcome to Jurassic Park.
All right, one of the great line deliveries.
Yeah, you want to see your guy say that.
Yeah, you got a picture
for the basis of my pick.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to have whoever you pick, they have to be able to deliver that line pretty damn well, I think. So yes, we were moving on to one John Hammond again, once played by Richard Attenborough there. Just pulling up his picture one more time, and I believe we are moving over to Malcolm. You were up first for this one.
So this is one that I kind of been a little bit off book for this one because like when I say the pick, it's going to sound a little bit unconventional, but I've got reasons. And I picked Brendan Gleeson, known as Mad Eye Moody from Harry Potter, but this is one of those ones where they actually, the book version of Hammond and what we see in the movie is actually vastly different, and I think that Brendan Gleeson could bring out some of those more. Apparently, he's more dark. Like Hammond is actually more darker in the book than in the movie. So I think Brendan Gleeson could bring back some of those darker Hammond stuff. But even then, I think like he'll be good because I can see him saying "Welcome to Jurassic Park." He's got that kind of gruff voice as well. So.
All right, so Malcolm going with longtime character actor, but very recognizable Brendan Gleeson for this role. Again, I try to pick like sort of bearded picks for a lot of these guys. I feel like you gotta have a beard, when you're doing that. So I did my best. So yeah, as far as mine, I did do a little race flip here because I think it's okay to do that for this role. And when you see who I picked, you'll understand why. But he's the narration of a generation. He's the guy who narrates damn near anything. He's an amazing actor. You'll know when you see it. I went with Morgan Freeman for this. I think Morgan Freeman would absolutely murder this role. He's got that sort of grandfatherly quality. He's a guy you inherently kind of trust, and you can see him, admitting his mistakes when the things go down, but getting a little frustrated as well. Obviously, he go toe to toe with any actor you put in front of him. But yeah, I mean, come on, the guy who narrates anything saying "Welcome to Jurassic Park," it would be so perfect. I mean, he was around the mid 2000s. He was even starting to narrate everything. He's a Batman Begins around that time. Shawshank Redemption, obviously. So yeah, I flipped this one a little bit and went Morgan Freeman for the John Hammond role. All right, Jordan.
And Richard and David Attenborough too do a lot of narration. Both of them. But for my pick, I was struggling between two because I had two like really good picks, and I decided to flip it from the guy I originally first thought of. But I think that they can really bring the gravitas, the voice, all that. I went with Jeremy Irons for my pick, and I just feel like he could just play the the real like villainous kind of role, because kind of like Malcolm said, the original character is kind of darker in the books, but also like but like he can also be like a nice good character. Like he's been Alfred, he's been like the guy you can kind of trust, but kind of has like a sinister thing behind him. And I think that he could definitely deliver Welcome to Jurassic Park really well. I mean, he's the voice of Scar, he's the voice of a lot of really cool characters, and I think that yeah, he could just really bring it, just be the old man kind of lurking around while everything's going on, So yeah.
All right, so
Jeremy
Jordan goes with Jeremy Irons. All right, and Soda, who's your pick for
So,
the new
like I said, mine everyone was based off of that scene, but mine was based on how that scene makes me feel, because every time I see it, I'm transported back to 6 years old in the front row watching this movie for the first time and feeling the sense of wonderment that Richard Attenborough as John Hammond gave me and still gives me. So the reason I went with my pick is because I know this actor can deliver that, and he is a really good dramatic actor as well. I went with Robin Williams. Because, like I said, who better than Robin Williams to deliver that sense of wonderment when for the very first time you see a dinosaur? So yeah, that's why I went with it, because I think he brings out that feeling. I went different angle.
All right, so Robin Williams for Soda there, and yeah, let's recap all of these. So Malcolm first went with Brendan Gleeson. I went with Morgan Freeman. Jordan went with Jeremy Irons, and Soda went with Robin Williams. So all good picks there. This is only going to get tougher. These are all pretty tough for here. So these are all great actors that I very much like and admire. So this is going to be tricky. But Malcolm, what you got first?
Yeah, this is actually really tough. They're all really close together for me. I think for three, I'm going to go Robin Williams. Once again, all these three are good picks, and it's just really tough. Number 2 is Morgan Freeman, and number 1 is Jeremy Irons.
Okay.
Right.
Again, these are all good. So this is not indicative of the picks. It's just more of a gut feeling on this one. I'm going to go Robin Williams for third. I don't know. I think it would just be slightly wrong for it. But he's a good actor. I'll go. Man, I'll damn. Oh man, I like both these actors a lot. I'll go Jeremy Irons for 2. That's a really good pick, and he's got the voice, and he's great. I see him playing a little more evil than I think he needs to be, but I don't know, maybe. And I'll go number 1 for Brendan Gleeson. I've always been a big Brendan Gleeson guy. I love Brendan Gleeson. Been a big fan of him even back since like Lake Placid, like in the 90s. I think that dude's great, and I would love to see him get a big prominent role like this, and I think he'd be good. So I'll go Brendan Gleeson. Jordan.
Yeah. Yeah, this was probably the hardest one for me to like think about, because I think that Richard Attenborough was the most perfect fit for the whole entire cast. I think he's perfectly cast, and it's just tough to recast him. And I almost would want to go with I forget his name, but the original Santa Claus from Miracle on 34th Street. That dude.
That's the original one.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
in the 40s.
Yeah, yeah, from that.
Oh, that guy. Okay.
Well, no,
because Richard Attenborough played him in the remake.
Oh, okay.
Same actor. That's Richard Attenborough.
Okay.
It's like, yeah,
well,
the exact same actor the year after Jurassic Park.
That just shows you I don't know old movies like that, because he looks like way different.
Even the guy who looks exactly the same a year later and is the same actor. Yes.
Yeah. So have a younger version of himself play it. Sure. Yeah. Let's see. Sorry. I wrote this down in my note app close. Okay. Probably I'd give it to Robin Williams for number 3. I just think that he's a tad bit too comedic. I don't know. Even in dramatic roles he's played in, I always am waiting for him to crack a joke or something. I don't know. But and then probably I have Brendan Gleeson for number 2. I just have a hard time really seen him. I don't know. Maybe he's a little too Irish than English. I don't know. That's a very like slight nitpick, but and then probably Morgan Freeman for number one. I think that like he could do it, and like even though like it like he doesn't like have that exact look, I just feel like the voice and everything like that like the John Hammond character does. I can just see Morgan Freeman like in his prime, just like nailing that. So
yeah. All right, so it comes down to you. What you got?
So I went Brendan Gleeson with number 3. Don't get me wrong, I love Brendan Gleeson. It's just I've never read the book, so I can't really relate to Malcolm's take on it. I went with Jeremy Irons as number 2. I love me Jeremy Irons. I love Scar. I love him in Die Hard with a Vengeance. I love him in Man in the Iron Mask. Great actor. But when it comes to delivery of the line, you cannot go wrong with Morgan Freeman. So I use my number 1.
All right. So with that, with 8 points, Morgan Freeman. So my race flip, I convinced you guys.
I knew Robin Williams would be a tough sell because of the angle I went with it.
Yeah.
All right, and we did have a vote in the thing for Saoirse Ronan, so that was the tiebreaker for that.
Oh, we did?
So yes,
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, Wolfman, I believe, voted for Saoirse Ronan. So there you go. But yes, so we did have a vote tiebreaker there. All right, so we are getting to the top 3, kind of our gang of heroes, if you will, kind of our top 3 actors running around. So we are going to go to Ian Malcolm. This is a pretty tough role to cast, I think. This is a tricky one. Because it's Jeff Goldblum. So how do you recast the enigma that is Jeff Goldblum? I don't know. It's a little
He's
tricky.
one of a kind of guy.
Yeah, he sure is. So there's Jeff Goldblum in all his glory as Ian Malcolm, and let's get reacquainted very quickly. Just a quick scene with Ian Malcolm.
It's not possible. Listen, if there's one thing the history of evolution has taught us, it's that life will not be contained. Life breaks free, it expands to new territories, and it crashes through barriers painfully, maybe even dangerously, but there it is. There it is.
You're implying that a group composed entirely of female animals will breed?
No, I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
Again, an iconic delivery of a line that he makes his own with "Life finds a way." Life finds a way. Yeah. So.
Well, that just reminds me, we could have done the BD Wong character, but that's fine.
He's only got one scene in that original movie.
Yeah,
he's more.
He's more important to the sequels, or Jurassic World and stuff, than he is in the original movie. He's only in that one scene. So,
and I mean, and nobody probably cares that we didn't cast Dodgson.
Dodgson is in one scene. I mean, there's a lot of there's other characters that pop up for a scene, but again, we try to go with the ones who make the most impact.
Basically the ones that are there throughout a chunk of the movie.
They're throughout the chunk of the movie, kind of pop up repeatedly, things like that. So not just kind of one-off characters. Unless it's a one scene, that blows everybody away and it's memorable. Something like
this is the ensemble.
Yeah, exactly. So, once again, we're going to Jeff Goldblum and Ian Malcolm, and I guess it's on me, man. I hate to go first on this one. It's gonna be tricky. This is the one I had to ponder really hard over. And again, I'm going mid 2000s, so I'm going with an actor that really broke out in the 2000s, and is still to this day the most popular Doctor Who. I'm going to go with David Tennant for this one. So again, David Tennant, he's got that absolute quirkiness, that nerdy quality, but women find him like oddly sexy, kind of like Jeff Goldblum in this role, which I think is important, that he has to be kind of smooth and suave as he is in Doctor Who. He plays kind of all kinds of range of people as the Doctor. He's smooth and suave. He's funny, but he can also do the drama when he needs to be serious and bring the drama. So again, I'm going with somebody who was really breaking out around that time, and I think if you've seen him, I know he's a little tougher to sell unless you, and I'm not even a huge Doctor Who fan, but I watched a lot of David Tennant because he was the most popular one. He still is to this day, and there's a reason for that, man. He's got a lot of charisma. He just steals everything he was in. He could be a scene stealer in this one, I think. Really break out. So yeah, I did actually I tried to find pictures that all matched at least somewhat of the Ian Malcolm character for everybody's thing. So I tried. So yeah, David Tennant, I found kind of the big hair and the glasses, you know what I mean? That sort of thing. So I did try. I'll tell you for all your picks. So we'll get there. So David Tennant is my pick. All right, but Jordan.
You picked David Tennant because you knew we had a guy that hosts a Doctor Who show on here, right?
I did.
No.
I didn't know that.
Well, I kind of co-host by default.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
I don't listen to Doctor Who podcasts because I don't watch that much Doctor Who, but I watched a lot of David Tennant seasons.
Yeah. No, it's all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this one for me, I originally had a list of some people, but then when I thought of this guy, like I was just like, boom, that's it. That's like there's just nobody else that I could recast him with, and I went with Robert Downey Jr. for mine. I feel like he could nail this role. He could have the like neurotic stuff. We've seen it with mostly Tony Stark stuff, but you can see it in like things like the Judge a little bit too, and just like but he also has the like smarts, the brains, the like suaviness, the like womanizer kind of thing going on. Just like he has like such a great range, even with Oppenheimer, you can see the range he actually has, and he can be like the guy that's like really trying to convince everyone, like wait a minute, this is like very dangerous what you're doing. You got to think about this, and but then he also could play the guy that the Spidey's they tell him that they just blow him off and don't really listen to him, and yeah, but yeah, I just thought that Robert Downey Jr. could pull it off. So yeah.
All right, there he is. I got him kind of with his hair popped up and some big glasses. So
nice.
There you go, Robert Downey Jr. All right, well, Matt, what you got for your pick?
Yeah, neither of you are gonna fucking figure this one out. So when I read Ian Malcolm, immediately the first image that popped in my mind is that image of him with the open shirt on the thing. And immediately right after that, this actor popped up, and it's like, okay, this makes sense because I've seen a lot of behind the scenes stuff with this actor, and I know he is as quirky as Jeff Goldblum. Plus, he is a character actor, so I believe he could be that quirky but very smart chaos theorist who, when the time comes, could pull off being the action hero, but at the same time could be sexy. I was hoping that you were going to go for one of the open shirt pictures from Giant. But yeah, no, like I said, he is that kind of actor that he brings this weird quirkiness, but this raw animal magnetism to his roles that Jeff Goldblum as Ian Malcolm exudes. And I could see women swooning over James Dean posing like that on the thing. So that's why I went with him, is just because I think he could pull off the similar type of energy. Plus, he has that charisma to be the sex appeal that everyone remembers.
All right, so to go with James Dean, I got one with a little poofier hair in the glasses. Again, that's what I was going for. a little more of that for consistency. But Malcolm, what you got for your pick for Ian?
Yeah, so for my pick, like this is like my first protocol was just to see sort of like who else was kind of swirling around these roles around the time, and the my actor also auditioned for them, and that's Jim Carrey. Like he also sort of auditioned for the role in Make around this time, and just from the clip that you chose to play, I was like, I could definitely see him in the role. Just being that crazy skeptic, talking about sort of how insane it is to try and do stuff like this, and try to control him, and so yeah, I think he could be perfect, and like I can see why he was sort of around that audition for it. So.
All right, so Malcolm going with Jim Carrey there, and I found some black glasses and black poofed up hair for Jim Carrey there as well. All right, so there you go. So yeah, we'll run down the picks once again. So we've got David Tennant, we've got RDJ, we've got James Dean going old school there, and we've got Jim Carrey for our selections here. All right, so yeah, I guess it's on me first. This is interesting. Yeah, this is because these are a wide array of picks.
Yeah.
I know you're relying on me for the old school pick, Soda, but James Dean's too pretty. You need somebody a little quirkier looking.
Good, my dude.
He's too pretty. He's too pretty, bro. Like I've seen all of his movies, but he's too pretty. You need somebody a little more, not as like just male model. You know what I mean? Like he's too male model. Like yeah, just cover of a magazine type thing. You need somebody that can play a little nerdier, but also be kind of swooning. So this is really tough between Carrie and RDJ because I think they would both do it. I'll go RDJ for 2 because I think it's too similar to Stark, and I think he would almost play it almost exactly the same. I think the Jim Carrey pick's kind of inspired, especially if you get Jim Carrey actually a little older than the 90s and when he auditioned. You actually get him more when he's doing kind of more interesting stuff in the late 2000s, sort of like Philip Morris, things like that. I think he could actually play a little quirkier and still be kind of a ladies' man if you need him to be. So I actually really like the Jim Carrey pick. I'm going to go with that for my top. When you posted that, Malcolm, I was skeptical, but the more I thought about it, the more I liked it. So, all right, Jordan.
Yeah. So I got to go with James Dean for number 3. He's a little too pretty. That is kind of the word for it. He does have the open shirt kind of look. You could argue that, but I don't know. I have seen more for like a classic actor of James Dean, but
it's only 3.
It's only 3 movies.
Yeah, so
go really deep and try to find his TV movies.
Yeah. Well, then I've seen all 3, but I think for number 2. So I was all set to pick him for number 1, but then Malcolm came in with that last one at pick. So I got to go David Tennant 2, and then Jim Carrey number 3. Because I can actually like the more you think about it, you can see him like he's someone that just really impresses me when he goes dramatic and like I don't know, like unlike a Robin Williams when he goes dramatic, I'm waiting for like the joke to come. I'm not always doing that when Jim Carrey goes dramatic. I think he can't like.
But Ian has quite a few funny lines that when Jim Carrey would deliver them, and he could hit you with that punchline, like funny.
that is true.
When he's like, "Remind me to thank John for a lovely weekend," like he can nail that.
Yeah, like I can like just see him being the kind of sarcastic, quirky kind of guy that just like is just trying to warn everyone and like I don't know, but then still kind of be like the flirtatious kind of womanizer guy still. So yeah.
All right, Soda, what you got?
I went with RDJ for 3 just because I agree it would be too similar to Tony Stark. Jim Carrey at number 2, I actually really think that is a good pick. But again, I think with me, it's like I like his dramatic stuff, but compared to like a Robin Williams, I don't think he's as good dramatically. But number 1 is David Tennant, not just because of the Doctor Who, but because I've seen enough of David Tennant's other work to know that he could convincingly do this. Plus, he has that sex appeal. Plus, he can play nerdy very well. Plus, he can play the hero when he needs to. He has great range with just in Doctor Who alone, you can see. So, yeah, David Tennant's my number 1.
All right. So, Malcolm, what you got?
It's going to be interesting to see how this all...
Yeah.
Because my number 3 is James Dean. I don't really have much of a film because I haven't seen any of his 3 movies. My number 2, I went RDJ for the same reasons as everyone else. And number 1, I went David Tennant.
Okay, so we have a tie for David Tennant and Jim Carrey as our top pick. So, so anybody who's watching, you are free to try to break the tie. We know if you've been watching, if you want to break the tie between Jim Carrey and David Tennant for Ian Malcolm, you can certainly do that. So, break that tie for us in the chat, if you will, somebody who's watching. And we will move on to our next role, and we are going up to Ellie Sattler, originally played, of course, by Laura Dern. And boy, is she foxy in this movie, boy. Laura Dern. We got a pick.
We got David Tennant, huh?
Yeah, there we go. So Wolfman, but no, David Tennant. I didn't know if I was going to get that one, but all right.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
It's one of those picks for
it's either Wolfman or Zach. I can't tell between the two.
I think it's Mega Movie Z, which is Wolfman. Mega Movie Z is Wolfman.
Once you Mega Movie Z is Wolfman. And you sit and you think about it, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that that Zach, is he like movie fan Z or something like that?
Movie fan Z, not Mega Movie Z. Mega Movie Z is I've been on Wolfman's channel enough times to know that's Mega Movie Z because I plugged it enough. All right, but let's get refamiliarized with Ellie here. And again, I'm just gonna have to stop this clip at one point. We'll get a little bit of Ian in this clip as well, just a tad more of Jeff Goldblum.
Where's the other car? Alan!
Dr. Grant!
Alan!
Grant! I think this was Gennaro.
I think this was too. I think it's ahead of us.
It could be anywhere. The fence is down, it can wander in and out of any paddock it likes.
You put a tourniquet on. Ian? Ian?
Remind me to thank John for a lovely weekend.
I want to get that line in there because it's a great line. So
I almost wonder if you're gonna have Ellie digging around in the Triceratops poop.
she doesn't really say much in that scene. It's just her kind of digging around. I tried to get ones with dialogue, at least for all these characters, not just actions. So yeah, but yeah, we were going to Ellie, originally played by Laura Dern, who was only 23 when she did this movie. It's kind of nuts.
I know. I just read that recently. It's like, holy shit!
It's like, yeah, that blew my mind.
Wow.
So kind of nuts. But yeah, she definitely plays it a little older. But yeah, so we are going to go, I believe, to Jordan this time. We are back over to you for your pick for Ellie Settler.
All right. Well, yeah. So I kind of went back and forth between two, but ultimately the one I didn't go with, I thought she was a little more like can come across as unlikable sometimes. But the one that I went with Emily Blunt. So I feel like she could definitely pull that off. She's got so much range, and just like playing the scared and the neurotic from things like A Quiet Place, or just like even some like badass moments too. She definitely done her fair share of that. Edge of Tomorrow, that kind of stuff, and then just kind of like. Yeah, like what you see right there from Jungle Cruise, I think that was.
Yeah, just because she had like kind of a more outdoorsy look in that movie.
Yeah.
So I went with that. Yeah, so
She definitely strikes as someone who's just kind of lost in the jungle, or like kind of stranded, like that kind of thing. But she definitely has like a real motherly kind of quality that kind of Ellie Sattler brings a little bit of too, and then the scientist kind of look and like I don't know, I just think that she has it all. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Emily Blunt.
All right, so Jordan goes with Emily Blunt. Matt, what you go for on this one?
So I basically, you could argue I went with the same pick on this one, but to me, I mean, kind of a no-brainer. I went with Sigourney Weaver, just because she's got a similar look. She could easily pull it off, as we've seen in Alien, her roles in Alien stuff. We know she's badass. Plus, I kind of think she might actually have good chemistry with my pick for Alan Grant. So that, but don't even count that one into your voting. But yeah, it's Sigourney Weaver. She could knock it out of the park easily.
All right, so and I picked her thing from Holes there with the hat on because I just think she looks hot. She looks hot in Holes. That's her pick. So I always liked her in that movie as well. All right, but Malcolm, what you going for your pick?
Yeah, I went for a bit of a riskier pick here. There's like the character is described as a graduate student who is in her late 20s, and this actress is the same age that Laura Dern was when Jurassic Park performed. So I went with Thomasin McKenzie from New Zealand, and like in her short filmography, like she has shown like that a lot of diversity in her range of acting. I think she could definitely, I could definitely see her fit into the role of Ellie Sattler enough. I can definitely see her doing the whole like women inherit Earth kind of speech that she did in like when they're on their way to Jurassic Park. So.
Okay, so Malcolm going a little younger there with Thomasin McKenzie.
But she is the right age though. She's 24, so for that.
Yeah, no. For mine, I aged up the character just a little bit, just because I want her to be a little closer than Ellie and Alan Grant were in that movie, because they had like kind of a 20-year difference in that movie, which I always thought was a little odd. So I'm aging the character up just a little bit, which I think you can, for that character. She can be a little older, a little more seasoned, and I think it's okay. And again, to kind of match my male pick for Grant. But yeah, I went with a pretty pretty straightforward pick of Nicole Kidman. I think Nicole Kidman again has the range. She's an Oscar nominated. I think she's even won for stuff like The Hours. She's been in movies like Australia, where she's great, playing the outdoors. She's done a little bit of action here and there with The Peacemaker, the 90s movie with George Clooney, not the John Cena show.
Yeah.
But yeah, Batman Forever. I mean, go on and on with the credits. Like she's shown she can be scared and stuff like the others. I mean, she's got literally everything. She kind of matches the look of the character as well, and I think she'd have great chemistry with my male lead. Again, we will get to that in a minute. But yeah, pretty straightforward pick. You know her. You may or may not like her if you're Jordan Anderson, but
yeah.
All right. Well, there we go. So running down the picks one more time. So we have Jordan's pick of Emily Blunt. We've got Matt's pick of Sigourney Weaver. We've got Thomasin McKenzie for Malcolm, and we've got Nicole Kidman for mine. All right. So yeah, we'll go to Jordan first.
Yeah. So. Man, this one's tough. Like those are all three solid picks, and I think I had to go with Thomasin McKenzie for three. I just don't quite see her doing exactly that, but she is great, and I love her as an actress. But yeah, and then for Nicole Kidman, that's my number two, and like kind of you are right. I don't love Nicole Kidman. I kind of get annoyed with her. I just don't think people put her on a pedestal, and there's only like 3 or 4 roles I really have ever really like loved her and said, yeah, she was really good in that. And other than that, I don't want to see her on my AMC screen ever again. But but she could do it though. Like I'm trying to be like non-biased and put her at number 2 at least because
I could have picked Kristen Stewart.
yeah, you could have. You're watching it automatically like third. Yeah, no, but
I was considering it.
Yeah, right. yeah, right.
No, but yeah, Sigourney Weaver's got to be number 1. I think she can almost do no wrong. Like she's just great in like everything. I feel like she can play like scared. She can play action. She can play like very dramatic. She can do humor. She can do all kinds of different things, and like it just works. And she's like, in my opinion, one of the greatest actresses we've ever had. So I think it's got to be Sigourney Weaver.
All right, Soda, what you got?
I feel like I'm ganging up on Malcolm here because I don't know. I don't know Thomasin McKenzie, so unfortunately, it's
from Jojo Rabbit again.
Yeah, Nicole Kidman at number 2, just because my only reference of her trying to play smart is Batman Forever, and she wasn't that good at that.
Yeah, no.
But Emily Blunt, on the other hand, I think could knock the horror elements out of the park, as we've all seen with Quiet Place. So she's gonna be my number 1.
Okay. All right, Malcolm, what you got?
I meant Sigourney Weaver. I don't see her as Ellie Sattler. Like, I think she's probably too much on the action side of things. Like, I know she's done stuff that isn't action, but I just don't see it. I had Nicole Kidman at 2, and then I had Emily Blunt at 1.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny because as much as she's my kind of like one of my current Hollywood crushes, Thomasin McKenzie is going to be my 3rd. I just don't really see it. I'm just not there with it yet. I think she looks a little too young. Like she almost looks like a kid. Like she still looks kind of like a late teens or something. Like still kind of looks angsty teen. Man, I love Aliens, but I'll go Sigourney for number 2. Again, yeah, I think the Ellie character is not super action oriented until like the very end, and even then, it's like she's not playing a total heroine. Like she's doing some stuff, but not as much. But I mean, Sigourney's good. I love. I mean, come on, Aliens is my favorite movie. Like, of course,
you could argue she does more.
Yeah,
in the later movie.
But yeah, you cast like a 2000s Emily Blunt. I don't think you can go wrong with this role. So yeah, I'll pretty easily go Emily Blunt here. So Jordan, you got one with Emily Blunt. There you go.
All right.
There you go. All right. So yeah, Jordan, speaking of Emily Blunt, we'll take this one. Yeah, I think you combine like A Quiet Place with her Edge of Tomorrow, and you got a pretty good character actor there. So yeah, that works. All right, so we're getting to the big role here. We're getting to the lead actor. We are getting to Sam Neill as Dr. Alan Grant here. Again, great performance here, and kind of an iconic performance for him. Still gets talked about in this role. Still probably his most recognized things. So let's get a scene for Alan Grant. A little bit of a longer scene, but it's a great little character piece and a great introduction for him. So I want to play a little bit more of him. So here we go.
Well, maybe dinosaurs have more in common with present-day birds than they do with reptiles.
Look at the pubic bone, turned backward, just like a bird. Look at the vertebrae, full of air sacs and hollows, just like a bird.
And even the word raptor means bird of prey.
That doesn't look very scary. More like a 6-foot turkey.
Turkey, huh?
Oh, no.
Okay. Try to imagine yourself in the Cretaceous period. You get your first look at this 6-foot turkey as you enter a clearing. He moves like a bird, lightly bobbing his head. And you keep still because you think that maybe his visual acuity is based on movement, like T-Rex, and he'll lose you if you don't move. But no, not Velociraptor. You stare at him, and he just stares right back. And that's when the attack comes, not from the front, but from the side. From the other two raptors, you didn't even know were there. Because Velociraptor's a pack hunter, you see. He uses coordinated attack patterns, and he is out in force today. And he slashes at you with this 6-inch retractable claw, like a razor, on the middle toe. He doesn't bother to bite your jugular like a lion, say. No. He slashes at you here, or here. Or maybe across the belly, spilling your intestines. The point is, you are alive when they start to eat you. So, try to show a little respect.
Okay.
Great monologue, of course.
Well, still think that kid could be played by your pick, Cameron Bright, Austin.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
But of course, this is the big role. This is Alan Grant, of course, played there by the great Sam Neill. This is a tough one. I mean, and we got some good picks here. So, Soda, let's go to you first, and what you got?
So that image that you use for Alan Grant is always the first thing I think of when I think of Alan Grant. And for my pick is the first one I thought of. It's Gregory Peck.
There you go.
One, he can pull off the look easily. Two, he's proven by his westerns that he can do the action. Three, he's proven with the original Cape Fear that he can play being hunted as prey. Plus, he's also considered one of the greatest film dads of all time for Atticus Finch. So it would be interesting to see that guy play someone who doesn't like kids. I think he could bring definitely a lot to this role, and I think he would have great chemistry with Sigourney Weaver.
Okay. All right. So again, going old school with Gregory Peck. There you go. I hope this is a satisfying picture.
100%.
Pretty perfect. I found that one. I was like, oh, that's perfect. I gotta use that one. So
it helped illustrate my point.
Yeah, right. Malcolm, what you got for your pick on this one?
Yeah, for me, it's funny because even though the actors of Laura Dern and Sam Neill had a 20-year age gap, Alan Grant is actually described as only being in his late 30s, so it was the characters only had a 10-year age gap, and which is why I went my pick of Daniel Radcliffe, because he's shown he's got a varying age of acting skills, and I could see him being paleontologist, and even with that scene where he's kind of comes off as a bit more of brings in a little bit of villain tone to that, even though he's not being a villain. He showed in The Lost City that he's good at playing a villain. So I could definitely see him that. There was almost something else I almost went with, but I don't see him in that. So I went anyway in the end. So yeah.
All right. Hope I didn't just get hit with the copyright because I played that scene for too long. I think we're still good. Good.
I think we're still good, yeah.
Stream unavailable. Oh boy. Okay.
Oh,
so we are
copyright.
Yeah, we are off the air. So we'll have to keep recording and edit that out later.
Yeah. We'll
All
edit
right.
it out. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh boy. All right. So, yeah, I hate these algorithms. Like, I can't even play a dialogue scene with no music. It's so stupid.
Honestly,
The
All right.
others-
it's long.
yeah.
Yeah. We'll edit out and re-upload. It'll be all good.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, but back in action here. So we've had Gregory Peck and Daniel Radcliffe. So next we're gonna go with my pick. And yeah, I went with the guy who, again, you go kind of into the 2000s, an actor that is already kind of established, but even still is kind of a character actor and is still really kind of breaking out in the 2000s. But I think would be pretty good in that role, and he could kill that monologue right there pretty perfectly. I went with Liam Neeson. So I think Liam Neeson would be really solid. Again, he's got that presence, he's got that gravitas. He could be kind of the family guy when he needs to be, like in Taken, but he can also be kind of a stubborn, curmudgeon guy who doesn't really love kids. But again, can be a little scary, like when he's delivering that monologue and delivering very seriously. When he's saying you get a here and here and here. Yeah. He could actually, he would definitely kill that. But he could do the drama and again, even bring the action, as we've seen later in his career, and even around this time of like Batman Begins, I think he could kill this role. So I thought it'd be pretty perfect. So I went with Liam Neeson for this one.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, Jordan, what you got?
All right. So for mine, just think about who we picked for our Ellie Grant. We got Emily Blunt in there. So, I mean, I think that he's really shown his acting chops recently, that he can really do it. And if you're going to have Emily Blunt, may as well have John Krasinski in there. I feel like he could actually kill this role. I think he'd be great, especially pairing with that. I think the two kind of go together really well. And even though they're husband and wife in real life, I think that you can kind of take that out of your brain and just kind of see it as like two separate people that are just kind of doing their own thing. And I think that like he's got the dramatic chops, because we've seen him in what's that series that he's in? He's in
Jack Ryan.
Yeah, Jack Ryan. He's in that, so we can definitely do a little action in there. But then you see him in A Quiet Place. You see him as like the father figure. And it just works really well for me. He even has some comedic senses, which I think Alan Grant throws in a quirky line here or there, and like it just works for me. Like you just slap on like the like cowboy or safari hat thing, and that it works. So I'm gonna go with John Krasinski.
All right, so there we go. So recapping our picks for this one, we got a little Gregory Peck from Soda. We got Daniel Radcliffe from Malcolm. We got Liam Neeson for my pick, and we've got John Krasinski. So let's close it out and see what happens. Soda, you're up first.
So I'm gonna go Daniel Radcliffe number 3, just because I can see him making a better Ian Malcolm than I can see him being a better Alan Grant. I went with John Krasinski for number 2, just because based on that, I'd have a harder time seeing him play that type of role. Mostly because I haven't, outside of A Quiet Place, I haven't seen anything other than The Office. But Liam Neeson is a really good pick. My only concern about him, though, is that I don't know if he'd be able to play off like the nervousness of like not liking children like Sam Neill does. So while he's my number 1, that's my only concern.
All right, Malcolm.
Yeah, I just don't have too much of a favorite reference to Gregory Peck. I know who he is. I just don't know too much about him to know if it's good for the role. But at 2, I had John Krasinski. Like I like the guy. I don't kind of understand him. But number 1, I went Liam Neeson. I can definitely see him as Alan Grant.
All right. Yeah, for me, I'll go Radcliffe for 1. Sorry, Malcolm. I'm just not vibing with a lot of your picks tonight. I apologize. Yeah, I kind of agree with Soda Sentiment. I could actually see him as like a Malcolm thing. I think he's got range for that. But yeah, as Grant, I still see him as like this 20s guy, no matter how old he gets. He's just still like some 20-year-old kid, you know, like he's still kind of playing young. Yeah, I'll go Krasinski for 2 because obviously I think him and Blunt would be good. And he's good, but I'll give you the old school one for the role. I think Gregory Peck, would kill this role. I think he'd be great. He's got enough for range back in the day. If you've seen some of the classics, and he's got that stoic nature to him, he could really play it really well. So I might be the only one to give it to you, Soda, but I'll give it to you. So I'll give you a first place for that one. Jordan.
Yeah, well, I wonder, like, if we really got a copyright thing because Brian's still seeing it and he's chiming in. So I don't know. We'll see.
I just pulled it up on my phone and it was kind of going blank, but I don't know. We'll see.
I think if you're already watching it, I think it's still playing.
Yeah. I guess if you try to pull it up now, it'll be gone, but that's fine.
Yeah.
So maybe if you refresh your page, it'll.
I guess, but Jordan, you can go in there and do the little auto edit thing.
We'll get it back within a day. So, but
no big deal.
But so funny enough, I have Liam Neeson for my number 3. I just don't see him. I don't know. Something about the accent and the way, I don't know, just the way that Liam Neeson and like carries him. So I don't know. I just don't see it as an Alan Grant. I see him as like an action guy, but I don't know. But and then I have Daniel Radcliffe for number 2. I mean, I can kind of see him, but maybe not that much either. But for me, like I'm actually going old school for once. I can actually see Gregory Peck like in that role, like just from a lot of the roles that he's had before. I mean, just a lot of kind of like noir, like mystery detective kind of like things, but then like the explorer stuff, and then even To Kill a Mockingbird and all that stuff. Just or like even in The Omen, like just a lot of stuff that he's been in, just kind of all combined together. I think kind of it just kind of fits that character to me. So I'll go with Gregory Peck.
All right. So let's we got a tie actually once again.
Wow.
We need to go to the chat again. So Brian or Wolfman, whoever's in there, we do need a tie because we actually have a tie between Gregory Peck and Liam Neeson. With each have 3, 3, and 1.
Yeah.
So we've got a 7-point tie there.
If you can still see. Oh yeah, there you go.
Brian's got one for Liam Neeson. So there we go, Liam Neeson. Yeah, and apparently he said maybe it picked back up. I don't know. We'll see what happens with the stream. Well, it's fine. Most of our Pulp Fiction views came after, like weeks after we actually uploaded it. So and picked up.
Hopefully, it only went out for that scene. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe it's just for the scene and then it came back. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Honestly, I'm surprised. I'm surprised it took this long for the copyright.
Well, most of my other things I played like a short one. That was like the longest one I played.
Yeah.
So I guess most of my other clips were about 30 seconds or less, so they were pretty quick. But that one didn't have any music in it. Usually we only get it from music. It's weird.
That's kind of weird.
I picked ones without music. So Liam Neeson will take it there. So all right, that will do it. We are done with our recasting. So I'll go back over the winners and see kind of who sort of won the recasting here. So Soda took it for Andre Braugher for Mr. Arnold. So one for you, sir. We did get Peter McNichol for myself for that. Jordan had the next one for Tom Hardy for Muldoon. We then went back to myself for Saoirse Ronan. I took that one. Jordan then took another one for Roman Griffin Davis as Tim. We then had Philip Seymour Hoffman taking it for Dennis Nedry. John Hammond went to myself again for Morgan Freeman. I barely took it for my kind of underdog pick of David Tennant. So it was there. And then Jordan had another one with Emily Blunt. And then he better have good chemistry with Liam Neeson because that's who won that one. So so at least for this one, you know what? I lost pretty big on the Pulp Fiction one with my 70s picks other than Charles Bronson. So I made a comeback tonight with about 5 picks, actually 6 winning this one. So
I'm happy to be here.
I made a big comeback tonight. Hey, so do you went my strategy, and picked a little old school. It doesn't always pay off. I know. Sure. But I can certainly appreciate the inspired picks. Yeah, Malcolm maybe was just Malcolm's got his own world of picks there. So you know that we just
I got close with Jim Carrey.
You got close with Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey was your closest one. I will say that. You were very, very close.
I mean, it's one of those ones when it comes to my like Ellie and Alan. I was actually casting based on chemistry. So,
for sure. Yeah.
So,
And that is the thing with going with older picks like that is you do run the risk of not everybody knowing who they are.
Yeah, no, and I ran into that with the 70s one again, other than Charles Bronson, because he looked exactly like the wolf and Harvey Keitel does in that movie, and he just murdered it. So even just based on the look, I got that one. But yeah, it's a little tougher if you go a little old school, but that's why I try to go too old school now.
I will say I almost went David Schwimmer for Alan Grant just based on the paleontology thing.
Oh yeah, because he's a paleontologist from Friends. Yeah. Oh yeah. But I will say that I had one episode where I didn't win any picks. It might have been the Willy Wonka one or something like that. Like I had one of them where I didn't get any. So I've been there before. So
no, it's all good. Well, I made the big comeback tonight, so I'm happy about that. So I had some solid picks there. But hey, this is always fun, no matter what. It's always fun to see kind of where everybody's brain is and where they go. And again, the voting can go all over the place sometimes. We had some very close ones tonight and some good picks. So but that was a good time. And I guess we can now announce, Jordan, what our next. We have our next sort of two ready to go as far as the next two picks that we are going to do. We're going to lock down the actual dates very soon. But our next one, the movie itself is celebrating the 25th anniversary. It's going back into some theaters, I believe, in a couple weeks or next week. The Matrix will be our next episode. We're going to cast 7 roles from The Matrix, 1999. So that'll be a tricky one to do because those are some iconic roles as well.
My favorite movies of all time. So this is my number 3 movie of all time. Matrix is my number 2. So
we're trying to hit those big popular movies that are getting hit, with all the searches and everything. That's what we
actually number 4 for Jurassic Park. That's the word.
Yeah, that's why we did Jurassic Park. We did The Matrix, and then for the week of Halloween, we're looking for the sort of Monday Halloween week. We want to do a little bit of kind of a horror tie-in, not a total horror movie, but one that definitely feels of the season that people watch. We're gonna do Ghostbusters and see if we can recast Ghostbusters the week of Halloween, because that one's got a dynamic ensemble. Obviously, the 4 main Ghostbusters. You got Rick Moranis and Sigourney Weaver, and you got William Atherton. And you got some fun roles in there to cast. So we're gonna cast some of those kind of iconic roles and see what we can do with that. And then we're tooling around with a couple other ones for later in the year. We're kind of still figuring out in November, but we can't say we are going to do 2 in December, sort of 2 Christmas related ones, one Christmas adjacent, and one straight up Christmas one that both have great ensembles. Die Hard and Home Alone will be our 2 picks for the month of December. So 2 kind of Christmassy movies, and both have great little ensembles and some good juicy roles to pick from. So it'll be a lot of fun.
And I was talking to someone maybe kind of off screen. I was thinking maybe for Thanksgiving time we do some kind of family movie, because it's a family time of year. Families get together, so we can kind of think about that. But we haven't.
We'll think about that. We haven't really locked down the November one yet, but we'll do something in like mid-November before we gear up for kind of a pre-holiday movie before we get to the holidays, something like that. So we'll figure that out, and we've got that going on. But thank you guys for joining us. We'll go around the horn and get some plugs, and we want to throw this out there. We learned kind of before we went live this afternoon. Rest in peace, James Earl Jones, man. That's a big one that I'm sure we will get around to casting some kind of Star Wars movie at some point, which will include the voice of Darth Vader, and we'll have to recast that iconic voice. It's really sad news, because no matter what kind of level of cinephile you are, like, you've encountered James Earl Jones. So James Earl Jones, whether it's animated, with Disney, Lion King, whether it's Star Wars, whether it's Field of Dreams or The Sandlot or Coming to America or any number of things out there.
Even if you can't picture his face, you know
his voice. You know the voice. And that is the voice, one of the great voices of all time.
Big bucket of win, dude. Big bucket of win.
Yeah, right. But it might be the most iconic voice in maybe cinema history.
Oh, yeah. Between Mufasa and Darth Vader, like those 2 alone. So rest in peace, James Earl Jones. We can confirm Richie and I, unfortunately, that means we have to do another tribute episode on Wheel of Movies, so we won't do Wheel again, because that is a major one. So we're looking to do the Lion King most likely. For little Mufasa. So because we'll get to the Star Wars movies eventually. All those are kind of tooling around the wheel. We'll get to Star Wars. We'll do a little Mufasa and Lion King and pay tribute to him. So that's going to be an interesting one going forward. So rest in peace, James Earl Jones. You are a legend, sir. So we'll definitely pay tribute to you. Let's go around the horn and get some plugs, and we will get out of here. And again, whether or not you watch this live or we got cut off a little bit, but again, we'll edit that. We'll make some edits and we'll get it back up.
Yeah, we'll be.
If you're watching it later, if you do happen to watch this later and it blows up a little bit like Pulp Fiction did again, please like and subscribe if you like what you saw. So we can do more episodes of Recast because we really want to do these really popular movies and have a little fun with this, and we have a good time. But Malcolm, what you got going on over on Take 3 Productions?
On Take 3 Productions, I host a band every Sunday. Last night we did Tim Burton movies, which proved to be very controversial. But
yes,
no Batman '89. What the?
But you can also. But next week we're doing top 12 TV shows that won the Outstanding Comedy Award at the Emmys.
Okay.
And then earlier today I did Spear from the Past, talking about WrestleMania 31 with Eric Morano. Next week we're doing NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4, which was from 2018. Which had the main event of Ciampa and Gargano. In one of the many matches, I can't remember which one off the top of my head.
Oh, God, they have like 3 or 4 crazy matches. So
yeah, I think it's the last man standing match if I remember right.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. And then you find me popping up from here and there on the Movie Hero Network. I'll be back here tomorrow for the championship of the 2010 Letter Series, the 2001 Letter Series.
Yes, 2001.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Soda, what you got going on?
Really nothing, because I don't really do much anymore when it comes to the online content creator stuff. So you can find me not really tweeting a whole heck of a lot at Soda_Saxman. And just want to show this in case you guys can see it. Look what the Empire State Building did today in honor of James Earl Jones.
Oh, that's cool. Nice.
Is it like a Darth Vader thing or something?
Darth Vader, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Rest in peace, Lord Vader.
Yes. Nice. All right, Jordan, what you got going on?
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff, but I won't go too in depth since it's not a tournament fight. But I'll just tell you a few little things. You can find us on all the social media, just down below. Just look there. I'll just promote the Movie Hero Network group on Facebook is where we're probably the most active. So maybe we'll even post our final picks for the recast, and you can let us know what you think about that. And then yeah, we do a lot of trivia around here. Our next one's going to be this upcoming Sunday. We're going to be doing, to end the summer, it'll be the best summertime movies. So just movies where it's hot outside, because we want to get that done before the summer is totally over, and it just be movies that like summertime or like in the desert, in the jungle, like at the pool, the beach, all that stuff. So we'll be doing that. And then we also have coming up, Malcolm mentioned the 2001 Ladder Series Championship. That's tomorrow night on the channel, so that'll just be a half bracket. And then on Friday we'll be doing friend of the show Ashton McIntosh. We'll be doing her top 64 movies. So I'm looking forward to that one, because me and her kind of went back and forth, and she did a lot of personal picks, and that's what I really like for these 64. Like, I want them to be in movies that like really mean a lot to you, and just like things that just like have a special place in your heart, or just have a lot of meaning to you personally, versus like just going with like whatever the critically acclaimed top is. But I mean, you can do whatever you want. It is your 64. Don't let me tell you exactly how to do it, but I really like that though. And then we'll be doing the following week. We have a big martial arts 6-way battle that'll be Bruce Lee versus Jackie Chan, Donnie Yen, Jet Li, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and Steven Seagal. So we'll be getting some martial arts stuff. And then that Friday we'll be doing we're getting back to our TV tier ranker, because we've been talking TV. So we'll be doing best TV shows from 2010 to 2014. So we did that, Eric, because we really had to break it down, because there's just way too much TV out there, which is a good thing. It's not really a bad thing. There's just a lot to cover. And then also we'll be doing one for the Patreon too. So if you go to patreon.com/movie-hero, we're going to be doing our favorite movie scores of all time this upcoming Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern, and we'll actually be able to play the music and not get copyright strikes like we got tonight. Well, so it'll just be over there, and it'll be fun. So even if if you're like not sure like what your personal favorites are, just come listen to ours and listen to some great music, and it'll be a fun time. So yeah, but that's pretty much what we have going on.
Yeah, and like I said, next recast will be in a couple weeks for The Matrix, so you can look out for that. We'll be promoting that when we get a little closer to that, and then Ghostbusters for Halloween. So look out for the next couple recasts. Those will be a lot of fun. We got to get Moose Haas for Ghostbusters. We got to make sure you get him.
Oh yeah,
that's like his favorite movie of all time. We got to get him on that one and to let him play around with that. And yeah, I'll be on Ryan Purpose's and I Quote channel this Friday right before tournament fights because I got time to do it because it's The Little Mermaid, which is only 82 minutes, so we'll get it done. So. I can do it on Friday night if it's a short movie, which that one is. Yeah, I'll be doing a little commentary for that. And then Wolfman was in the comments tonight. Mega Movie Z. This Saturday we'll be doing a bad Tim Burton movie, Malcolm, that I don't think made your list. We'll be doing a drink along to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which I'm not a fan of. But yeah.
I mean. Last night, like we almost did go through his full familiar. The only
filmography, all you had to do is say yes to 2 Batman movies, and it wouldn't have been that hard.
Yeah, right.
Yes to 2 Batman movies.
I'm not a big fan of it. I will explain it off for you, but
yeah. Hey, to each their own.
Of course, co-hosting and or hosting a lot of stuff like Recast here on the Movie Hero Network and like Wheel of Movies, which we will most likely do. That Lion King episode either the 18th or the 19th. So next week, either Wednesday or Thursday, we'll get that done. We might actually have Jacob Barber on that show, so he might be coming back to the network. So for that one to talk a little Lion King. That'll do it for tonight. That was a ton of fun. So thank you to anybody who watches this on the replay. We certainly appreciate it. Anybody who finds this, again, if you find it. Please like the video, subscribe, throw your comments down below. Which ones did you like? Who would you recast? You can throw it down there as well. We'd love to see those comments. We'll wrap it up there. So until next time on Recast, for Malcolm, for Matt Soto, Mageau, for Jordan the Movie Hero Anderson, I am Austin Pez Howell, and we'll see you guys next time.